G'day everyone, it's been a few months. I've been playing with derby cars and whatever, so that stuff is done and maybe it's about time to get into the stuff I normally do here. So, welcome to Chain Shed. Got my son's BMW E87 here. Now, I've got a bit of a coolant leak that we're going to sort out today. Pretty easy fix. Yeah, so let's get into it. Now this is going to be a lot easier to see once I remove the top of the engine cover, but the main thing is this was picked up just during weekly checks that the coolant level was getting low. You know, obviously we were losing coolant, so a quick inspection. Down here we could see basically the telltale signs of coolant leaking, so trying to lose all my bolts for that. So engine cover off and I'll show you. So this engine is the M47 2-litre diesel. Now, once we noticed that the coolant was dropping, basically just had a look around for coolant residue, which we can see is all around here. It's been flicked up from the belts as well, over near the alternator. I'm probably out of frame here, but so where the bulk of this residue is the EGR cooler. So first thought was maybe that had cracked. Closer inspection, it appears not to the case. It was leaking from this flange here on this plastic component here. Now this is the EGR thermostat. So we've ordered a new one of those, which is good because that thermostat is a hell of a lot cheaper than the EGR cooler itself. So we're going to change that out. Pretty straightforward job. You've got a hose clamp here and two bolts that hold it in at the flange. The only real issue is you've just got this cooler, well, I think it's a coolant line here. Could actually be an oil line. I doubt it's an oil line, it's probably a cooler line. But basically that is in the way, it's right above that one bolt. So we're going to have to get that out of the way just to access that bolt. Not a big deal, we just got one hose clamp here which we can pop off. We can just put another worm type bay hose clamp on there in exchange for those clamp pieces. But looks like there's probably enough room on that once we get it out of the way to just flip it up out of the way. Real easy job. So you don't necessarily have to change all the coolant when you do this job. I'm going to do it anyway because we haven't done it since we've had this vehicle, so I don't know when it was last done. So we're just going to do it anyhow. I probably won't video that bit, but it's just mainly this process of doing this EGR thermostat. So the rest is kind of optional for you. Alright, so I've taken the cold air intake out just to make filming this bit a bit easier, but I'm just going to pop the lower radiator hose off just to make draining the coolant system a bit easier or a bit quicker, because I believe the drain is underneath the intercooler and I just can't be bothered to that extent just to drain coolant out when I can just pop that hose out. I need a pointer. So there's just a little clip here. We just push it forward. Probably just need a little flat blade screwdriver just to release it, and then this should be able to pull straight back. So you can easily use a flathead screwdriver, or I'm just using a 6mm way socket to just undo this hose clamp. Now, just having a look at it, you don't have to worry about the... Now let's just pry that off first. Alright, so there's that hose off away now. I was having a look, you don't really have to undo this hose clamp. You can just undo this little Torx, I think it was a T20 bolt there. And this should get you enough room to get to that those bolts. So once that's out of the way, this can just pop out. Now this is looks like an oil line, so I'd just pay attention, just do a bit of cleaning and whatnot before around the area, just so you don't drop any crud into there, because that's probably like variable valve timing or bay stuff. But hopefully that should flex enough to get access, which we should be able to get a ring spanner on there at the very least. But these are a 10mm bolt or 10mm socket head. So this one's nice and easy to get to. The other one, not so much, but we'll see what we can do. We can probably force this in there, or not. Got a couple of options there, that's enough to crack it there, so kind of all we need really. Just be nice if there was a bit more flexibility. There we go, built into that. And yeah, just kind of force it up out of the way. It goes. Be best not to drop those bolts down, because that would be not much fun. And there we go. Now there is a little O-ring in here, so I just pays to have a good look around here just to make sure there is no cracks or anything like that that shouldn't be there. That would be preventing that seal from occurring. It looks okay from what I can see. Now unfortunately the new one, big box for a little part, there is no O-ring in there, which is a bit of a bother. But anyway, the part number is Somali, it's a TE170, that's what I'm using here, so that kind of looks identical. Lucky I've got my O-ring kit here anyway, so I'm just going to use one of those on there and that will do the job. So I'll throw a bit of O-ring lube on that and we'll whack it all back together. So for the O-ring lube, I just got this Molykote valve and O-ring lubricant. I've had this for years, probably 20 odd years I guess, maybe even longer. I'm sure I might have acquired it when I was an apprentice. But anyway, I can neither confirm or deny that, my story, but anyhow, let's just start whacking it all back together. Like I said, this is probably one of the simplest jobs around, as long as we don't go dropping any bolts down into valleys and holes and stuff down in the engine. Back bolt is just a little fiddly to get to, and it's just because of that oil line. Those bolts are all in, just nip them up, should be fine. And last hose clamp on. Nice and tight, and obviously don't forget your oil cooler line. Well, not oil cooler, I don't think it's an oil cooler. This oil line, just a bit fiddly, just getting that line back up again. There we go. Ooh, I nearly dropped that. Well, that there is a lot nicer than trying to undo those hose clamps, I must admit. So I didn't even see this bolt originally when I was first scoping this job out. So yeah, that wasn't super tight, so I just nipped that up. There we go. Alright, with all that bolted back up in place, all we've got left to do is just top up that coolant. Nice and easy. If you don't want to go to the point of draining all the coolant system, you can either just pull that straight off and just let whatever excess coolant is going to drain out, or you can pop off the top radiator hose. There's just a clip, same as the bottom one. Just pop that clip out, pull it out. There is an O-ring holding it in. It could be a bit tight. That bottom one at the moment is quite tight. I haven't got it out as just yet. There's technically only an O-ring holding it in, so it should just come straight out, but if it's been there for a while, a few years, they could get a bit tight. And don't forget, this is plastic coolant components. After a few years, personal experience, they start to get fragile and brittle, so just be careful with them, otherwise it could break. Certain parts that then need replacing, and it turns a simple cheap job into something a lot more expensive, which we kind of want to avoid until we actually have to do it most of the times. But hey, it is what it is. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you've got use out of this content. If you want to see more of my content, then hit the subscribe button. yeah, if you really enjoy my content, members section, there'll be early access to all my videos, some members only videos, yeah, that sort of stuff. So thanks to Dave, Byron, Rob and Jay. Appreciate your membership, guys. It keeps me motivated to continue doing these. And yeah, I'll see you all on the next one. Cheers.